This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here, and today we're going underwater. We're going to be diving under there with our scuba gear, trying to breathe, and we're going to come across a sunken ship. We're going to be going through that ship and going through the galley and going under hatches and going into the captain's quarters and seeing all different parts of the ships and trying to get the treasure at the end. Today we're going to be taking a look at the latest Exit the Game series title. This is called the Sunken Treasure. This one is 2 stars out of 5 on a difficulty level. Up until this point, this is the easiest one. I'm going to show you just a little bit about how the system works with no spoilers, and then I'll see you on the other side with, again, no spoilers. So here's some of the components that come in the game. There is a guidebook, and in this book, once you flip through it, there'll be different things that you'll do within this book, different puzzles, different things you need to solve. I'm not going to open this for you. They all come with a guidebook. This one looks like this. And it comes with riddle cards, A through Y. And at certain times through this book, and as you're going back and forth, sometimes you'll have some of these riddle cards out, and there are sometimes puzzles, sometimes little solutions to other puzzles. There's little things in these cards that I'm not going to show you, and typically you'll be going through, have a few of these going at once, and you're not quite sure exactly, do you have enough information for a certain riddle or what, and you're trying to figure all that out throughout the game. Now the game also comes with a wheel. You'll be using this to try to see if your puzzle is solved correctly. There's a bunch of different puzzles in the game. They're all denoted by certain shapes that you'll find throughout the different riddle cards and through the guide that I just talked about. When you're trying to solve a certain riddle, like this one is this shape here, you'll be using this wheel to line up certain things with the solution to this. So maybe you want the number 5, or maybe it's because of this starfish, or maybe the number 2, or maybe because of the seashell, or 0 lobster, depending on the type of puzzle you're going for. There will be a number there. Once you get that number, you go to the answer card, you'll look at that, and one of a few things is going to happen. Either you'll be right, you'll be wrong, or it will flip up a new clue that you have to sort of look for to see if you are correct. So some things kind of like go down different spider webs, some of them you'll just know if you're right or wrong right away. Also, for each of these riddles, there's 3 clue cards denoted by the shape that you're finding, and if you're stuck, you can look at the clue. When you look at the clue, it will give you information, and if you need more information, you go to the second clue, and if you're still stuck, you can actually get the solution for that. Now, the game ends once you've gotten all the way through, and depending on how long it took and how many of those help cards you use, you'll get a certain amount of stars. Now, if you get a help card and you already knew what was on the back of the help card, that does not count, but you get a certain amount of stars depending on how fast and how well you did it. There's also some other components that came in the box, but I didn't want to show it to you to not spoil anything. Alright, well there is the Sunken Treasure, and as I mentioned in the intro, this is the easiest one out of all of them. So let me tell you why it's the easiest one, without spoiling anything. Number one, sort of the book that you flip through and the cards, the riddle cards, the things like that, they all sort of go in order. So it's much easier to sort of manage. You're not flipping through so much, you're not going back and forth. So it just sort of streamlines sort of the mechanisms of the game. So if you're just learning this system, this is a good one to start out with. Now, each book, as you go through that in order, makes you stop until you finish that puzzle. And that makes it, again, so you're not confused about the system, you're not going back and forth, and you literally just know which puzzle you're working on and what you're trying to do. Keeps it very linear for people that are new to the system. I really liked, I think more than any of them, this one really felt like I was going through the water and the ship. It really gave us a good story, where some of the other ones, there's sort of a story there and you're sort of going through, but you're jumping back and forth. This one really felt like I was exploring and going deeper into the ship and seeing different things. So I liked the story, the linear aspect of the story in this one. And you always have enough information to solve each puzzle. You know, in some of the other ones, you'll have multiple puzzles going on at once. You'll be trying to figure it out, and you'll be like, man, I really can't figure this out. And you get a clue card, it's like, well, you need riddle cards H, M, and Z. And you're like, well, we don't have Z, I guess we can't do this one. But you never quite know if you can do it or not. So sometimes you'll be wasting a lot of time on puzzles without even having all the information. With this one, you don't have to worry about that. You always have all the information, and again, it's geared to be easier, and these are the reasons why it's easier. So even though that's the easiest part of it, you know, the puzzles are, I would say, easier than some of the other ones, but it's not, they're still clever. They're still fun. They're still, when you get them right, you're like, oh yeah, that was cool. There's still some cool aha moments in this one, even though some of the puzzles are easier. And I like that this system just keeps coming up with new types of puzzles. So this one, I would say, if someone were to ask me, they always ask me, what's the best exit to start with? I always used to say the abandoned cabin. I will now say Sunken Treasure. Yes, the puzzles are easier. Yes, it's a little more linear, but it really helps you learn the system of the exit game really well, and then you jump into other ones and they'll be a lot more difficult. So I think this is the best one to sort of start out with if you want to learn how the system works. This one was very easy. On the negative side, it was a little too easy for us. We actually didn't use any clue cards, and we did it in just less than an hour. So for the first time ever, we got our 10 stars, which is awesome because plenty of times I've gotten 1 or 2 or I think I've even gotten 0 stars once on some of them really hard. So it was nice to, I'd always rather, personally, people are different, but I'd always rather it be a little bit on the easier side than a little bit too much on the harder side. And so this might be too easy and too linear for some of the hardcore escape people that have done a lot of exits. But if you want to play it with your kids or you want to introduce someone, give it to a friend that doesn't know about these games, this is the perfect one to start with. That's Exit the Sunken Treasure.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.